Hi, welcome to Pearls of Motherhood. I'm your host, Tessie.
And I'm your host, Diana. Today, we're talking about something that hits very close to home for the both of us: perfectionism in motherhood. Now, you all probably know we are both perfectionists by nature. Letting go of that control in motherhood has been not an easy journey. But every day we try to choose presence over perfection. And I'll admit it, I still struggle and I grind my teeth a lot, but I still try to do it.
Yes, and we know that we're not alone out there. And if you've ever felt like you're not doing enough, not being enough, or just barely holding it all together, or if you're like OCD like me and you already struggle with that, and then throw kids into the mix where like nothing is perfect, this episode's for you. But
Mhm.
first, mom facts and book corners. So, in mom facts, did you know that the average mom gets 17 minutes of me time a day? Me time in air quotes, let's say. Yeah, you heard that right. 17 minutes. That's less time than it takes to watch your favorite show, for sure, or
Mhm.
finish a cup of coffee, for sure.
Mhm.
And honestly, 17 minutes barely feels like enough time to catch your breath, right? Like
Yeah.
17 minutes. So, what do we even do with that time? Like our me time in air quotes. For
Mhm.
most of us, it's spent cleaning up messes, answering emails, or if we're lucky, zoning out on Netflix for like what I get is 5 minutes. And then all of a sudden I'm needed again.
Same.
And so maybe even just like scrolling through Instagram and wondering how other moms seem to have it all together and be perfect and picture perfect. And let's be real, probably isn't even true. And
Mhm.
so here's the kicker: when we do get the tiny sliver of, when we do get that tiny sliver of time for ourselves, we often spend it feeling guilty for not being the perfect mom or trying to catch up on things we should have done hours ago, or we miss our kids and
Mhm.
we're feeling guilty that we're not with them. And that's where perfectionism sneaks in. And it tells us we need to be more, do more, be more perfect. And here's the thing: perfect doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. So, what if instead of chasing perfection, we just start embracing the now and just embracing the imperfection? And let's take those 17 minutes and let's make them count, whether that means actually enjoying your coffee without distractions, or sitting in silence for a little bit, or just being okay that the fact that we can't do it all and just meditate on that, right?
Yeah, I am guilty of doing all those things in my quote unquote "me time," and especially wanting to watch Netflix and only getting 5 minutes into it.
I know. It's so
I
frustrating.
It is. It is. And I clean when I should not be cleaning, when I should
Yeah.
be zoning out in my chaos.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to enjoy my coffee with distractions. Let's face it, I cannot have distractions. That's just not real life for me. But that's
Like,
okay.
I haven't had a shower by myself without a tiny human in the shower with me since, like, 2017. So, I don't even need 17 minutes in the shower alone, you know?
Yep. I haven't peed by myself since she was born.
I just found this picture the other day of all 4 of my kids. My baby was just a little baby, and I'm clearly sitting on the toilet, and I took this picture, must have taken it because they're all 4 of them are there, like, outside of the door there, and 2 of them are, like, climbing on top of each other on the baby bouncer, and then and then the little baby infant is right by me, and then the oldest is, like, playing with her or whatever. Like, this is my view from the commode.
Mom life right there.
There you go. So enjoy those 17 minutes.
Okay. So, for book corner, we're going to be talking about The Pout Pout Fish and the Big Big Dark by Deborah Deason. So, this kind of ties into our previous episode about dealing with fears, childhood fears. If you haven't checked out our season 2, episode 2. We give you lots of great tips and we have a blog article for that. Anyway, back to book corner. So, the Pow Pow Fish and the Big Big Dark is all about Mr. Fish, who is super nervous about the dark, but he has to find a way to be brave and help a friend in need. It's a fun rhyming story that shows kids it's okay to be scared and that you're braver than you think. What I love about this book is that he talks to himself the whole time and he tells himself all these great things like he's strong, he's fast, he's smart, but he admits that he's afraid. And in the end, his friend helps him find his way through the dark and they go back and they celebrate together. It's actually a really happy story. It has a happy ending and he realizes that you can be scared, but there are other people out there to help you through that fear.
I love that. That sounds like an awesome book. I'm definitely gonna get that book.
And it rhymes. I love anything that rhymes for
Oh, yeah.
kids.
Yeah, they
So,
love it too.
yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. It'll probably be one of those books that my kids make me read 10 times in a row.
yeah. When I got this book for my daughter, she made me read it all day long
Yeah. No, it
because she
sounds like
identified.
at least it's a useful story and a good good moral
Yeah.
outcome.
So that's our book corner. That's our segment for today.
On to our topic, the myth of the perfect mom.
Oh,
Like, who is the perfect mom anyways? I know a lot of moms who like to think they're the perfect mom. Don't be one of those moms.
I thought I was gonna be the perfect mom until I became a mom, and
Me too.
then now here we are.
So, like, what do you think of as a perfect mom? When you think about what's the perfect mom?
For me, it was June Cleaver in Leave It to Beaver. You know, the beautiful pearl, she always had her hair done, the beautiful outfits, the high-heeled shoes. She's always poised and polished. She always has the house is perfect, her kids are well behaved, she always has the perfect meals, and that's what I thought perfect motherhood would be like, and I strived for that before I became a mom.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's TV, that's not real life, and also I thought that the perfect mom was someone who was the stay-at-home mom, who dedicated her entire being to her children, which is a beautiful thing, but I always thought, "Man, how do you do that?" So that to me, June Cleaver was the perfect mother for me, that was the image.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, it's Hollywood. So let's be
Yep.
real. Nothing in Hollywood is real. But
Mhm. It's all
um
lit up really well with perfect makeup.
well, first of all, when you think about it, it's easy to be the perfect mom when it's like for 30-minute episodes, right? Like for 30
Mhm.
minutes, I could probably pull off being the perfect mom for 30 minutes, like the happy go lucky, like wearing my high heels and my pearls. then then my 2-year-old will rip the pearls off, the shoes will kill my feet, and that's
Mhm.
like not gonna happen past 30 minutes.
'Cause about 30 minutes is about when my feet start screaming anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're yeah, you're right. I can be the perfect mom for 30 minutes, and then the rest of the day is shot.
I know.
What do you think of the perfect mom?
Like, when I thought about me, of course, I thought I was gonna be the perfect mom, like Miss Perfectionist over here, and so
Mhm.
I was imagining myself being perfect and being like, "Well, my kids are gonna listen to me, 24/7. They're gonna be perfectly dressed and perfectly groomed and perfectly like, they're never gonna misbehave in public, and I'm just gonna have really a handle on those kids.
Mhm.
The house is gonna be clean and spotless like a museum,
Mhm.
and I am gonna be happy, and I'm gonna do all of these fun things with them, take them to all of these cool places, and, only feed them organic and never give them sugar, and
Or screen time. Never.
never. I'll never use the television as a babysitter.
Mm-mm.
No, and, they're gonna potty train in 3 days because that's what the book says, you know?
Yeah. We can totally do that.
Yeah, and, like, I'm
Oh,
just gonna
sleep
be able to
training.
do. Huh?
Sleep training.
Sleep training, yeah.
Don't forget, your kid is going to sleep 8 hours a day and wake up happy, never and self-soothe if they wake up in the middle of the night.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it's just gonna be heavenly, and I'm gonna sleep in, and they're gonna get up and entertain themselves, and it's just gonna be glorious.
Will they also set the table and clear the table at the end of dinner too?
Yeah. They're gonna use their manners 24/7 every single time. Yeah, so, like, I was gonna be the perfect mother, but yeah, anyways, reality hits, right? Real life is actually not not anything that we imagine that it would be.
Yep.
So,
So true.
perfectionism can disconnect us from our kids. Like, have you found that when what I do is I'm, like, constantly nagging them or nitpicking them or constantly being like, "Oh, you're making a mess," and, "Oh, you're not doing this perfectly," but what happens is you damage your relationship when you do that, right? Or if
Mhm.
you're more focused about how you actually look to the outside world, and I'm totally guilty of this, then you're damaging your relationship with your kid because 'cause you're kind of taking it out on them, you know?
Mhm. I totally hear you on that. For me, it's when I strive for this perfectionism, I have expectations, and when those expectations aren't met because I have a toddler, I get really upset. And then that and of course I put that on her, which isn't right,
Mhm.
and that does cause a divide, and she does look at me like, what did I do?" Like, she'll say, "Mama, I'm sorry," and then I catch myself because now
Yeah.
how horrible am I? I was just trying to get the perfect picture, or I was trying to get her into a dress that she doesn't wanna be in for a picture that she doesn't wanna be in, because I thought it would be a great idea for an Easter picture or something like that,
Yes,
and
I've done that
it's
too.
it's awful. It's awful. Actually, a study in 2017 in the Psychological Bulletin found that perfectionism has significantly increased over the past 3 decades, particularly the form driven by meeting societal expectations. And I think a lot of it is because of
Oh my
social
god,
media. We want to
totally.
present this
Yeah,
world. Yeah.
totally. Yeah. I mean, I've been guilty of that, wanting to get the perfect picture, and you know what's so ironic about that is the perfect picture is actually the one that isn't perfect. When you go back and look, I do this, I'll go back and look at my and I don't even post my pictures to social media. I can't even imagine
Mhm.
the pressure of the moms who do that. I know that they have
Mhm.
pressure because they have to, but I can't even imagine. But, like, when I go back and scroll through, and I there was this one Christmas where I was, like, wanting the boys to get the perfect picture in their matching pajamas with the Christmas tree, and they were, like, goofing off because 'cause they're boys, and I was, like, so angry at them, and then when I went and looked back at my roll, my favorite picture was when my middle child was, like, kissing my little one, and in my mind, the
Oh.
perfect picture was all 3 of them smiling in a pose, perfectly posed, you know what I mean? But in reality,
Mhm.
that was the perfect picture, you know?
Yep. I've been so guilty of that myself. How many times do I wanna get that perfect picture? And I don't even post like you do. I don't post it on social media, but I just want it for
Yeah.
me, of her in this pretty dress, and instead, she's literally stripping it off and running with just a diaper on, and that's the perfect picture because that's my
I love
daughter.
it.
That's
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny, my dad, he's really good photographer. It's not his job or anything, but he's just good at it, and he'll send me a picture of my kids, and none of them are the way that I would have taken it, where I'm like, the perfect picture is them, like, looking happy and smiling, but he gets them in the raw, like, the real moments, and they're, like,
Oh,
beautiful pictures, you know? So,
wow.
just, like, shifting our mindset maybe even could be helpful on, like, what is actually perfection, because my husband
Mhm.
taught me this a lot too. Like, he's, like, in love with imperfections, like, that's, like, his thing, and I'm just like, "Okay, weirdo."
My husband
But
too.
they still love us. I'm like, "Well, that's the only way we're married right now is that he loves
Yeah.
imperfection."
Yep.
Poor him, though. I'm, like, Miss, like, perfectionist, like anyways, that's another topic. But he's all about that too. He's, like, kinda taught me a lot about that, helped me
Mhm.
get through, you know, and he really supports me because he knows that I'm kinda OCD, and he'll, like, remind me, "Okay, this actually, like, little Miss OCD, this isn't important. It's okay." I'm like,
Mhm.
"Not important. He spilled honey all over the floor and the cabinets, like, it's sticky." "What are you talking about?"
Yep. My my husband's the same way. He reminds me, "Isn't this the best? She's not gonna be like this forever." And then I have to go, "Well, she's like this right now." And I'm living in the moment, and my husband's like, "Hey, bigger picture here."
Yes.
And I go, "Oh, yes. Yeah, that's right. Okay,
My
good.
husband's good at
Great.
that
That's
too.
where
I
we are."
wonder if, like, everyone out there, if that's, like, a husband thing, maybe our husbands just have
Or
that certain temperament, or is it just, like, a guy thing that they can see bigger picture and we're, like, stuck more in the moment of, "We have to make this perfect," you know? Or, "Our kids have to be
or
perfect out in public or in these certain scenarios, or else we are a terrible mother," you know?
Mhm. Or are you the mom who embraces imperfection and your partner is the one who's the
Yeah.
perfectionist? We'd love to hear from
Yeah.
you.
Because like, opposites attract, so that could be a scenario too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's one version of the perfect mom you used to try to be?
Um, well, when my boys were younger, I they had to be, like, perfectly dressed, button-up shirts.
Oh,
They
I
could not leave
remember.
the
They were
they
so
were
cute.
so cute, and I do love that, but I would not let them leave the house without looking like little old men, literally, like, they were adorable. Hair combed,
They were so cute.
everything, right?
Yes.
And
So preppy, so adorable.
they were really adorable, but I have let go of that. I'm just like, "Okay, you're not leaving in a t-shirt or any shirt that has a graphic, but I will let you pick your own shirt at least," you know? Good thing about boys is they don't care if you pick their clothes, even though they're 7.
That's that's a good
Yeah.
one. For me, it's screen time.
Mm.
Screen time for me, I was like, when she was first born and before she was born, I said, "She's not getting screen time, it's
Oh,
gonna be
for
so
sure.
controlled."
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, if I didn't have screen time, I think I would have aged an extra 40 years from the 40 years I've already aged in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I would be a dinosaur right now. Screen time has literally saved me in so many instances and actually has helped I her. She has an incredible vocabulary. I think a lot of it has to do with screen time because I don't zone out all the time with her. There are times I do
Yeah.
zone out when she's on screen time because I can't help it, but I actually use it as a tool, as a teaching tool. And what she does is she can take her little finger on my iPad and scroll back to the sentence that she wants to hear over and over again, and then she repeats it until she
Oh,
gets it right.
wow. Cool.
So the other version of me was like, "No screen time." This version of me is like, "We're using screen time as a tool because it saves mommy's
Yes.
sanity."
Another one of mine is, like, I would not let my kids eat in the car for nothing. Like, you are not gonna have a dirty car seat because they're
Yes.
impossible to clean, and you're not eating in it
Mhm.
because it's not gonna be messy. Not even on road trips, like, we would stop every hour if we had to feed it was ridiculous, and then I finally, like, let go of that. I was like, "Okay, as long as they're not gonna choke to death on it, I don't even care." I just go to the vacuum cleaners at the car wash, and I don't even care.
I totally understand that because in the beginning, I was the same way. "No, we're not gonna have a dirty car." My car is a disaster. It's a
It's such a bad
disaster.
disaster, right? So much trash. I'm like, "Where does all this trash even come from? I don't even know."
I start the day with a clean car, and I don't bring anything else in it, but somehow it manifests
Oh my
garbage. I
gosh.
don't
Oh my
understand.
gosh. There are, like, so many times during the day where I literally, like, have one thought to be OCD or perfect or whatever, and I have to stop myself and be
Mhm.
like, "Okay, in the big grand scheme of things, not important." Move on.
Are they alive? Are they
Yeah.
healthy? Are they whole? Are they happy? Okay, we're
Yeah.
good. And that's so hard to do, isn't it?
Oh my god, it's so hard, yeah.
So another thing that I have to admit about was co-sleeping. I thought I would never co-sleep, and that is I broke my own rules because I was like, "I'm missing my me time, I'm never gonna do that," and then I got really resentful when I had to do it because she got sick and we I had to hold her for her to breathe and sleep through the night so she could get better, and then she got used to always having me there, and I got really angry, especially at my husband because I was like, "Well, you get to sleep alone.
Mhm.
I have to hold her. I have to be here all night where she's kicking me in the ribs and her arm is on my face or she's literally has her elbow in my trachea and I can't
Yeah.
breathe." So, I was really resentful and I swore that I would never do it, but one time she would start fussing in her sleep, and I would whisper to her, "It's okay, baby. I got you. Mama's here. You're safe." And I didn't think that she heard me. But then one morning, I heard her mimicking those words. She was mimicking a scenario with her stuffies that one of them was scared, and she says, "It's okay, baby. I got
Aw.
you. Mommy's here." And I thought, "Oh my
That's
goodness.
so cute.
She hears me." I was like, "That's" and at that was a turning point for me was when I realized that she still is absorbing moments with me when she's unconscious, and now I don't complain about it as much. There are times that I do
Yeah.
that I want a
When
good
you're,
night's
like,
sleep,
sleep
but
deprived.
mhm, but that is my co-sleeping confession and my screen time confession. The 2 things I swore I would never embrace, and I just have, and it's actually been the best things for
Yeah.
her, and for me
Yeah.
too.
That's true. Like, let's be real. Think about when we were kids. We weren't definitely weren't perfectionists as kids. Some kids are, but
Yeah.
really we weren't. You're not. And kids aren't looking for their parents to be perfect, actually. They don't even think about that. It doesn't cross their mind. They just want their parents to be present, you know?
Yeah, that's such a good point. It's true. That's completely true. They just want us
Yeah.
there. They don't care what state we're in, what we're doing, or where our food that we feed them comes from. They just want us there with them.
Yeah, like, they don't care if they have the perfect little princess bed and room and bedding and whatever. What they want is just to sleep with their mom, like, that's what they want. They
Mhm.
just want closeness. They wanna be with their mom.
Yeah. Yeah, the studies have found that we have something called mirror neurons. So, and these neurons help children internalize what they see and hear from their caregivers. And that is how they learn empathy, language, and emotional regulation by being with us because they are copying what we
Yeah.
do.
Wow. They're literally mirroring it in their as their neurons build and their brains build. That's
Mhm.
incredible. Yeah. So if you
Mhm.
want a highly neurotic child who's OCD and perfectionism, go ahead and mirror that like I do. And that's my way of screwing my kids up royally, so they need therapy.
Here you go, future generation of mental health
Yeah.
therapists. You're welcome.
Sorry for your wives, and then all these boys are gonna be like perfectionist OCD freaks. Oh, man.
So, I realize that she's really listening, not just because of that scenario where she was like, "Oh, mom, I'm here, mommy's got you." It's when she makes a mistake and she goes, "I told you, listen."
Mhm.
And I go, "Oh my goodness," that's what I
Oh
say.
my god, I hate those moments. Especially when it's, like, a bad thing that you do, and
Mhm.
then they're
Mhm.
doing it, and you're like,
Mhm.
"Where did you learn that? It wasn't from me, but you know it's from you." Oh my gosh.
I said when she did that for the first time, I thought, "Oh my gosh, that's so familiar. Oh my goodness, it's me."
No. Yeah, they do. They
I
pick it
told
up. They do. And I
Mhm.
do feel like
Mhm.
as they get older too, it almost, like, happens more frequently even. They really do model your behavior. It's the freakiest thing. Or say they it's, like, super funny when I will actually hear my 5-year-old or my 7-year-old saying something to my younger ones that I normally would say to them, like, good or bad.
Mhm.
God, I wish I could think of an example right now, but do you have one? Okay.
I do. This morning, she was trying to put something together. Oh, she was trying to put her, wooden railroad tracks together, and she couldn't get them to quite align, and she goes, "Come on." And I look at her, and I go, "Oh, that's me," because I do that too, especially when I'm trying to play with her toys or, like, trying to fix something. I'm not very handy. Even though I went to an engineering school, I am just not handy, and I go, "Come on." And she definitely got that from me. I that was a cringe
Oh, man,
moment.
I have plenty of those. One I can think of that's a cute thing is, you know, I always say snapperoo because I think like, when I make a mistake or whatever, when I'm around the kids, I'm like, "Oh, snapperoo," and, like, my 2-year-old's like, "Oh, snapperoo," when she makes a mistake. It's really cute.
I had something similar too. So, I'll admit, I swear, I'm not proud of it. I'm really trying to cut down on it because I don't want my daughter doing it. So sometimes when I make a mistake, I go, "Oh, shit," and I don't want her saying that. So I picked up what my mother-in-law says and my husband's aunt says, and it's, "Oh, shoot, Sugarfoot and Fuzzy." So I say, "Oh, Sugarfoot," and now when she makes a mistake, she goes, "Oh, Sugarfoot," instead of the other word. So that one I am proud
Yeah,
of.
they really do, and they'll pick up things from my parents, from my in-laws, just, like, things that they'll hear. One of them is always like, oh my god," and they'll pick that up and, like, constantly be saying that. I'm like, "Can we, like, say something different?" It's almost like I have, like, 10 children, you know? Like, I gotta scold them all.
It takes a
Yeah.
village, right? So, progress over perfection is the most important thing. Letting go of perfectionism means aiming for enough and not for
Yeah.
everything. And then that's so
Yeah.
hard. That's so hard to do for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's this guy, he's a pediatrician and a psychoanalyst. His name is Donald Winnicott, and he coined the term good enough mother, and that describes like just being present, not perfect, and which supports a child's resilience. I think that's a great term, a good enough mother, because we are good enough.
Mhm.
I tell myself I have to be perfect all the time, but that's not true
Yeah.
because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, there's like a whole we could probably do a whole episode on like mom guilt, forgiving ourselves. Have we?
Um, no, actually, that's in the books for this
Yes,
season.
so that's coming up
Yes,
because
that
I
is.
know we've talked
That
about
is.
that. Yeah.
We
Yeah,
did.
it is about that, and, like, the kids don't care about that kind of stuff. They just care. You know what I heard? I love Dr. Laura. Do you know Dr. Laura?
Oh, I love
I
Dr.
love
Laura.
Dr.
She's fantastic.
She's
Yes.
awesome. She apparently did this, study where she was, like, asking parents, like, would you rather be at daycare or stay at home with your mom when you were growing up? And they all, even the ones who sent their kids to daycare, still chose stay at home with their mom. Isn't that fascinating? And look,
That's
nobody's
amazing.
mom is perfect. Okay. So my point here is they would still rather just be with you, even if you're not perfect, even if you make mistakes, even if you do mess up, kids just
Mhm.
want to be with you. That's all they care about.
Yeah. It's true because how often does my daughter just say, "Mama, I just want you. Mama, come play. Mama," and she'll take my phone and put it down. She just wants my attention.
Oh, that's so funny too. Yeah. My daughter, whenever
She
she picks up on that I'm on my phone, she knows. Like she doesn't
Yeah.
like it.
Mhm. Same.
Yeah. They're
Same.
very
She
intuitive,
does
girls.
They are. Sh My daughter will take my phone from me and goes, "We put this right here," and then takes my hand and walks
Oh
away
my
from the
gosh,
phone.
I love that.
That's a lot. It a lot right there about what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So I do try to turn off my phone every so
mhm.
often, and that makes for the best time because then I'm not torn. My again, it's about my expectations, right? I'm not expected to get back to anyone because I didn't hear my phone ring. Oh well.
Yeah. I mean, my husband doesn't even have text alerts on his phone. He never knows when he gets a text message because he doesn't wanna know, and he says I should do the same
Mhm.
thing, but really, for Lent, I actually did give up social media, and I
Mhm.
really tried to, like, be on my phone in general less, especially around my kids, and so
Mhm.
I've been working on that for a couple of months, and literally, I'm not missing anything by not being on
Mhm.
social media, and there's nothing else on my phone that I even need. Like, that's, like, the only thing I would do on my phone besides text, really, or
Mhm.
or occasionally look things up or podcasts or whatever. You don't have to stare at podcasts, though, but, like, I do feel like it transformed just the times I used to go on it when I was, like, rocking them to sleep, I would scroll on my phone, or whenever I thought they were not paying attention, and, I think it has, like, made an impact.
And a good impact too. I think that's amazing. That's a great one to give up
Yeah.
for Lent and to try to sustain. Are you going to keep it
Well,
up?
it's so funny because the last week, I've gone on Facebook, like, a couple of times, and I just, like, can't do
Mhm.
it now because it's boring to me. I'm like, "Well, okay, I'm done
You
with
went
this."
through a
Yeah,
cleanse.
I, like,
You had a
detoxed.
cleanse. Yeah.
So, I don't know, every now and then I might go on, like, see what's going on, go in groups or whatever, see what's going on, but, yeah, for the most part, it's definitely not gonna be what I'm just, like, sitting there mindlessly doom scrolling anymore.
Mhm. Because it's if there's something really important, someone needs you, they most likely are going to call you instead of text
Yeah,
you. And let's face it, the most important thing in front of you are your
yeah,
kids, what you're dealing with at that moment.
yeah, and, so that is why I've, like, kind of been MIA on my phone lately, but, you know
But, I've noticed that, and I don't mind it so much because when I text you, it's not an emergency. If it is an emergency, I'll call
Mhm,
you. But it also takes the pressure off of me knowing, "Okay, Tessie's not on her phone all the time. I don't have to be on my phone all the time. I don't need to get back to her right away.
yeah,
There's not that expectation I need to
yeah,
meet. I can get back to you when my daughter goes down for a nap or when she goes to sleep at night because it's something that can
yeah,
wait. I'm just a more calm mother And it actually goes into a study, a 2019 study in the Journal of Child and Family Studies, that moms who practice self compassion are less likely to burn out and are more likely to be satisfied. And so, if you look at not getting back to your text messages as a form of self
Mhm.
compassion, that takes the pressure off of you. That helps me. I'm like, hey, I'm I'm okay.
Yeah, like, I don't think we're the only ones who feel this way. The pressure to text somebody back, like, right away or not
Mhm.
wait too long to get back to them, like, there is, like, a lot of pressure on that, or if you hear a text come in, you have to check it to see, "Oh, who's
Yeah.
texting me? Do I need to text them back?" or whatever. That's, like that's a lot. A lot
Mhm.
of
It
pressure,
is.
especially with kids.
It is, and yeah, well, I get it. If you're working and you have that going on, that I totally understand, but most of the time, it can probably wait. Like, if grandma's texting and just say, "Oh, tell baby girl I say I love her," she's not expecting a response right
Yeah.
away. She's just leaving a
Yeah.
message.
Yeah, we really should be more compassionate towards ourselves, actually, in general. That's a good point. More forgiving.
But it's so hard to do.
Mhm.
It's because we're expected to get back immediately. It's part of society that's ingrained to us. When you and I were working or to be successful humans, we have to be on top of things. And if I know for me, if I let my text messages accumulate, there's a small part of me that goes, "Oh my goodness, there's so many. I don't like this."
Yeah, and then you feel like all this pressure to respond to all of
Mhm.
them in this short amount of time that you have. I swear, I'm always telling my husband, I'm like, "Let's get rid of these cell phones and just get a home phone." I just want I just want a home phone that's on the wall that I can't take with me because like, I actually despise carrying my phone around, but then we're so tied to them that when I don't have it,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, "Oh, I wanna quickly look something up on the internet or text somebody or do this," and then I don't have it, it's, like, super inconvenient.
Yeah. You can't
Yeah,
function.
and I've tried doing the watches, the Apple Watch, and
Mhm.
that just doesn't work for me. I don't know why. I miss text
I
messages,
know.
I can't respond on it. It's just, like, not convenient.
I know a lot of moms who do it, and it's great, but I never embraced the Apple Watch because I am trying to disconnect from my phone a little bit, and I think having something on my wrist that I
Yes.
take with me is going to
Yes.
be too much. If for my phone, if I, quote, unquote, "lose it" or my daughter hides it from me, oops. Oh, well.
Yeah, and then I actually do wonder about this, like, if people know you have an Apple Watch and then you're not texting them back, they're like, "I know you got my text, it's on your wrist," you know what I mean? Like, I
Mhm.
actually miss more text messages on my Apple Watch when I wear it than on my phone. I don't know how that works, but I don't want that pressure.
No. No. So, practice self-compassion,
Not wear
whatever
your
it is
Apple
to get
Watch.
you through the
Yeah.
day. There you go. Lose your phone, do whatever it is because you're less likely to burn out and be more happy being a mom. It's a good thing.
Yeah, that's all they care about at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Like, I do ask my kids, I'm like, "Do you want mean mommy to come out?" Because if
Ooh.
they're not listening or if "Do you want mean mommy? Because nice mommy's here right now, but mean mommy can come out." They're like, "No, no." You better start behaving then.
That's right. That's
Get the
right.
mom voice.
I have the mom look now, apparently, because if I give her a look, she goes, "Okay, I'm
That's
good."
awesome. I always tried
I
that.
don't know what that look is.
I know.
I don't know what that look is, but whatever my face contorts into, it's enough to scare her.
Oh my god, my grandmother, who's 93, has perfected that look, I will tell you. We were all, like, terrified of that look growing up, and apparently so was my dad, so she perfected that early on.
Oh, maybe my face is a little scary. Maybe I need to embrace the Botox. I don't know.
So, when was the last time that you let something go? Like, not out of apathy, not caring, but, like, out of love and intention?
So I think, let me think. Oh, this afternoon.
Mhm.
This afternoon. So my daughter loves to play with water. I think most kids do. And so one of the things I let her do is I go to the kitchen sink and I fill up, I have these huge metal stainless steel bowls and I prop it up in the sink and I just let her, and I take food coloring and I just dye the water different colors because she loves to see it. So we mix colors, we do all these things, and I have little cups for her to play around in. And of course, she makes a
Oh,
mess.
yeah.
And I always say, over the sink." And so that's another thing she says now. It's like a joke for her and I when she knows that she's kinda, like, in trouble, she'll go, "Over the sink," and of course, I crack up laughing, so but she was making a mess, but she was also learning to pour into a funnel, which was smaller, and it was overflowing all over the place, and I just looked at her, and she was just having so much fun. I just couldn't bring it out of me to say over the sink or to say, "Oh, look at that mess." I just decided to let it go because why? I already had a billion towels on the floor. And what's going to happen? She's going to get wet anyway. What's the big deal?
She'll dry.
And she had the best time. Yeah, she'll dry off. What's the big deal? And I'm going to do laundry later. It's okay. So that was me just kind of letting go of something, not because I didn't care, but because I saw how much joy it was bringing her, and at that moment, it just wasn't worth it.
Yeah, because there's nothing worse when you're a mom and you you just kill your child's spirit, not intentionally, but, like,
Mhm.
they just the other day, my son was, like, being super loud, but he was trying to, like, sing or whatever, and I was like, "Just be quiet a little bit," and it just, like, killed the whole mood, you know what I mean? And
Oh.
there's, like, nothing worse when you do that or you're like, "Oh, you spilled it," or whatever. But, yeah, like, over time, just in general, I really try to be like, "Okay, is this life and death? Is this really gonna damage them long term?" And if not, I try to let go of it even though it's really hard. Like, especially watching my kids eat. It's so hard watching them eat because they make such a mess.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, "Lean over your plate, lean over your plate." And I don't wanna be that nagging mother either at the same time. But so I'm not perfect at this, but I do really try to check myself and be like, "Okay, is this life or
Mhm.
death, or is it gonna damage them somehow in the long-term future?" Then I, like, mentally will back off and be like, "Okay,
Mhm. Big
yeah,
picture.
I'm just not gonna say anything in this moment." But obviously when I'm
Yeah.
pregnant, you know how when you're pregnant, you just don't have a filter? I have no filter when I'm pregnant. Everything I think, like, I say, whether it's good or bad, and this is why I can't be pregnant. This is not a good thing for the world. Really bad. But so it's obviously harder when I'm pregnant, but I do have a lot more, brain power and willpower when I'm not. I'm better at this.
Well, I mean, you are
Oh
growing a
my god.
human, so there is, you have to give yourself some grace. It's okay.
It's
It's
eating my
okay.
brain. I heard this girl on a podcast who was, like, claiming that her child was eating her brain when she was pregnant because she was so unhealthy or something, and I'm like, "How do you know it was eating your brain?" Okay.
Well, okay. So, even though your blood volume does increase while you're pregnant, a lot of it goes to that baby. So, less of it to me went to my brain
Yeah,
when I
for
was pregnant. So,
sure.
that's why I had pregnancy brain.
No, that's a
That was my
real thing,
justification.
pregnancy brain. Yeah, I can't remember anything.
I still
Yeah.
can't. Now it just becomes mom brain because you have too much on your plate. So, I get that.
Yeah, and so you guys know, like, we are huge about trusting our guts, and I don't listen
Mhm.
to anyone, like, unless it goes aligns with my gut, you know? We don't rely solely on
Mhm.
parenting books. We talked about this in a
Mm-mm.
whole earlier episode, and so I believe moms know their kids best, and so follow your instincts. They're super powerful.
Yeah, especially when those instincts tell you to ditch that schedule and just hold
Oh,
your baby.
yeah.
You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be present. You just have to be
Yeah,
there
true.
or throw away your phone. That's what I need to do. And get a house
Get a
phone.
house
That's
phone.
what I need to do.
Then me and you would never talk. The only way we talk is, like, through text.
That's I would have no friends if I
I
didn't have my phone,
know.
honestly.
Same. It's such like a double-edged sword because as much as I hate my phone and as much as I hate texting, like I'll do talk to text and you could probably tell because all the words are wrong. My kids' names are spelled wrong and everything else. And you're like, okay, you just spelled your kid's name wrong. That's the phone texting it. But
Yeah,
like if I didn't have text message, yeah, I would literally have like no friends.
yeah, and my mother would think that I'm not alive because I otherwise, she would if I don't text with her, there are times that she doesn't hear from me. Sometimes I can't call my mom because my daughter doesn't let me. She doesn't
Yeah.
want me
No.
doing stuff like that, so I can quickly sneak off a text to my mom and say, "Hey, mom, love you," or send a picture over that I'm still alive. I think my mom would be afraid that I am not alive if I did not have a phone.
Yeah. They're like such a necessary evil. It just
They are.
drives me nuts.
It does. But whatever you have to do, trust your instincts and just be present with your kids. We're gonna try to.
Yeah. And so today we explored the myth of the perfect mom, air quotes, and how instead of striving for an impossible standard, we can choose to be present with our kids and with ourselves. Perfectionism might show up in small moments, but we don't have to let it control our motherhood journey. It is about progress and not perfectionism. And so, whether it's letting go of like the perfect bedtime routine or something you heard in a parenting book that you are failing at, because let's be real, we all do that, or accepting that your house won't look like a Pinterest board, nobody's house does, or like a perfect museum, which is what I wanted. It's just
Mhm.
embrace the now. Your kids are little, they grow fast. Everybody, like, we don't have to tell you this. Everybody knows this. They grow so fast and you're literally today they're like a different person than they were yesterday when you think about it. So perfectionism is totally overrated. And as moms, we're doing the best we can every day. And you already are doing enough. The fact that you're even thinking about it or being intentional, just as you are. So remember, take a deep breath, let go of the cape. We're not perfect superhumans. And remember that coffee makes everything better. So you got this.
Or wine or whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes that's not unhealthy like drugs.
Mhm. That's correct. There is a limit.
I totally understand why those 50s moms like chain smoked in the kitchen, but don't do that.
No, no. And don't overdrink either, and don't drink and drive. All the things that we know not to do. Oh, but yes, I agree. Coffee makes my life better.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna embrace
Yeah,
that
me
one.
too.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening to us at Pearls of Motherhood. Please feel free to contact us at pearlsofmotherhood.com and to email us at ideas@pearlsofmotherhood.com. We're also on Instagram at Pomcast. That's POMCASTS. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode or any ideas for future episodes. After all, we are a podcast for all moms and would love to know what you'd like to explore. New episodes will drop once a week on Friday, so stay tuned for more fun and more pearls. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.